What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN USD. It is the first day of December. Here we are, my friends, sitting at about $0.00498 with 7 hours left in this day. We have made the drop. We've dropped 11% as of today. We were expecting or anticipating some type of a move down to around 0.005 or even just below there, potentially even a lower low. I was not expecting it to be in a one-day process, but hey, whatever. That's what we're doing. It's very possible this is a higher low. Something to note here is look at the lack of volume. What a big candle for such a lack in volume. Gives me hope it's not going to last. And not just not going to last, but give back in a very short amount of time. Let's look at the short-term stuff. It is possible that we go lower, and we'll talk about that as well. But I want to look at the 1 hour, and then we'll zoom out from there, okay? And again, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. Here we are, dropping a little bit. You can see a little bit of volumes coming in here. On the 1 hour time frame, we were very stagnant, and there was no volume at all. A little bit of volume pushed the price down a lot. Now we're getting more dropping, but less volumes coming in. This is in itself somewhat of like bullish divergence, honestly, in volume. It's not even divergence, it's convergence. But what I mean by divergence is I'm just meaning that in the sense that we're about to move up. It's technically convergence. But when you get convergence, you get the same convergence in the volume with the price is actually divergence in the momentum. Does that make sense? If you're dropping lower, you want more volume to come in because that will push you lower. Or maybe you want less volume to come in because then that makes the move stop in its tracks and you likely do move higher. Where we're finding support here, where that low is right there, is actually right here at prior areas of support as well. We slipped a little bit below it, but more or less right here at the support zone. We take a fib from the low to the high, and you can see that we are actually right here in between the 786 and the 886 area. We broke right through the golden ratio, right through it. We didn't even pay any attention to this golden ratio at all. The golden ratio is the top white line. The zone is both white lines, but the top white line specifically is the golden ratio. We didn't pay any respect to it at all. Whenever we break through, oh darn it, I was going to say whenever you break through the golden ratio on your first attempt, typically you do see some volatility and you come back up to the 382-236 area, but we have interacted with the golden ratio already. So maybe not. Statistically speaking, when you interact with the golden ratio, you go to the 0.5382, and then you would likely break through, go to the 786, 886. That's what we're doing now. So 786, 886 area for support, we're there now. Can we go lower? Sure. Could we even go lower? Sure. But likely we would at least return up to 0.00536 before making any lower lows. Understand here that we're not in a position to really say we're going through the roof, though I think, obviously you know where I'm at with that. And we're not in a position here where we're saying we're going to go through the floor. Either outcome's possible. It depends on what we do with this golden ratio level, what we do right here. And I want to say it really clearly because somebody said this on X.com yesterday and I answered their question. But in case this rumor is floating out there, because I know that I've made some comments about Bitcoin Cash and how I've thoroughly thought about selling everything that I own for Bitcoin Cash because I have the most conviction in Bitcoin Cash. I have not sold my Onyx coins. I've not sold them at all. No, I haven't sold any of them for Bitcoin Cash. If anything, earlier this cycle, I sold some Bitcoin Cash for Onyx coin, which, retrospectively, actually didn't work out because I bought this was after the massive pump happened and Bitcoin Cash is doing better. So, but I have not sold my Onyx coin at all. It is still my second biggest bag. The reason why Onyx coin is not my biggest bag anymore is not because I've sold it. It's because Bitcoin Cash has held up better and Onyx coin is literally at like half the price it was when Onyx was my biggest bag. So no, I have not sold any Onyx coin. No, I don't plan on selling any, at least not here. I think it would be very silly to sell it here. Even if you're chasing pumps and stuff, like don't do that. It's really silly to chase pumps. Don't sell your coin that's being boring for a coin that's pumping through the roof, right? With that being said, I absolutely am tempted to sell everything that I have for Bitcoin Cash, but there's a few projects that I have a lot of conviction in, like OnyxCoin, like CookieDAO, like Moonrocks even, and I'm not going to sell those for anything. Even if I think it is quote-unquote smart to probably just max long Bitcoin Cash, I won't sell OnyxCoin because while I do believe that that is a safer play, Bitcoin Cash is probably than anything, I still believe OnyxCoin will see more growth probably than any project that I'm holding. If not, CookieDAO might, Moonrock stands a chance. It depends, but I think OnyxCoin has the most promise as far as growth goes. So no, it's not my biggest bag at the moment, but it has a chance to be. Anyways, enough about me. Let's talk about you. Okay. Statistically speaking, we're likely to bounce from here, and again, then what we do next is what matters. Do we reject 0.00536 If so, we have lower to go. We'll probably go even below 0.004, honestly. Do we break back above there? Do we find support on there? If we do, that's likely the low there, and we likely do push higher. We might even push beyond this. Ultimately, closing above 0.0624 is what will validate that we are looking to take out this high up here, and that this is the low down here. So 0.0624 is the ultimate arbiter of truth. It's the ultimate barrier right there that we have to break through on a, let's say, a 4-hour closing basis, okay? But the first test is 0.0536. We close above there, and this is starting to look like a relative low point. We have higher prices, probably higher than any of these prices to go. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised at all if we came back in a very short amount of time, because again, we've got this volume divergence or convergence, whatever you want to call it there. Looking at the 1-hour time frame, a little bit of a double bottom in the RSI, bullish divergence on the stochastics, and bullish divergence on the MACD. 4-hour time frame here, a little bit of a double bottom in the 4-hour, double bottom in the stochastics, and the MACD doesn't look the best, to be fair, but whenever you've been moving sideways like this, I don't expect it to be accurate, so I'm not going to regard that too much. The RSI is bullish overall, or sorry, bearish overall, but you do have some hope here with this little double bottom. Typically, double bottoms in the RSI are very well respected, and I would think that with that, we're at a low point, personally. But again, I think that we're at a low point here, as in I think this is the higher low, as in I don't believe that we're going lower. Okay, that's not my call. But again, if we go to the golden ratio and we reject, then we'll probably get real friendly with these calls of 0.04 to 0.036 being the target area to consider. Okay, if we can't get above the golden ratio at 0.0536. If we do, if we start closing above there, this low is validated, it's vindicated, and all we're waiting for at that point is to close above the 236 at 0.0624. We close above that, and we're home free. We're looking real good. We're looking real good right there. Real gap in volume right now. Real gap in volume. This was over the weekend, though, to be completely fair. Or I guess, actually, whoa, this was over a whole week. Oh, yeah, we're on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, that was a whole week, damn. Just totally absent. It's kind of odd, right? It looks very mechanical. Daily time frame here. If we close here or lower, even if we see a lower low, we will have more bullish divergence forming on the RSI. This is really nice. Again, going back to this idea that we had the other day, we've got higher highs and higher lows. It kind of makes sense that we would, come down. It kind of makes sense. Stochastics look bearish, and the MACD is bearish beyond all belief, but that's okay. We're at the low points here. Looking at the weekly time frame, and I want to actually look at the XCN BTC chart. XCN BTC. We look at the weekly time frame here. We're still building bullish divergence on the MACD, on the stochastics, and now even on the RSI. Maybe that was the final piece. We had weekly bullish divergence on the stochastics and on the MACD. We've yet to have it on the RSI. Now we're getting it. This could be the final week before we see OnyxCoin really take off. And I don't expect much out of Bitcoin, but I really wouldn't be surprised if OnyxCoin did some good stuff. With that being said, again, if we see a lower low than this, there are areas of resistance right here that we can find support on. Just below that low right here, which is a bit more of a drop, let's be fair, but in reference to this whole move down, it's really not that much more to go. We're at our low points, and we can observe that here in the US dollar price, but we can observe that here with our weekly divergences going on as well. Something big is brewing. Just got to hold out and be patient. I think Christmas is going to come for the OnyxCoin community. I don't think it's going to come for a lot of crypto communities. But at this point, with OnyxCoin, it really is kind of like a community. Like at this point, the only people who are here are probably people who have been here for a while, who believe in this project, who they've seen the rough of it. They're in it to win it at this point, right? We all believe in it. It's the only people here who are left are community people, in my opinion. So OnyxCoin is also getting delisted from the perpetual swaps on Binance, all that stuff. I think they have been delisted. I don't know. So there's less ties to Binance there for shorting, for making profits on the shorts. There's not going to be anybody left to sell. When the whales are gone, when the exchanges don't have any input to sell on this thing, it's just the community that's left. We're the ones that are going to uphold it. Community tokens are fine, you guys. Those are the ones that are doing well right now. And I feel like OnyxCoin really is, at this point, it probably is a community token, honestly. Now, there are still some whales. There are still some very big whales. I myself am probably an OnyxCoin whale, but I don't know what defines that. But it's just a thought that we probably don't have too much more to go to the downside. Even if Bitcoin and the rest of the market is having a hard time in December, I think December will be a good month for OnyxCoin. Certainly going into 2026, we should see some life as well. But I've got nothing else. I'm just rambling here. Thank you all for being here. Hit the like button, subscribe, take care of yourselves, all right? I'll see you on the next one. Some things to think about, again, those levels, those key levels to watch. 00536, closing above there on a 4-hour time frame. Very important if you want to avoid going lower. If we do go lower, who cares? Whatever. We're almost done anyways. We've got the weekly bullish divergences against Bitcoin. We're going to see a big pop. Go lower. I dare you. Give us cheaper prices. I dare you. I'll buy more. I will buy more. Hit the like button. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.